are watching the #1 podcast in the whole YouTube wrestling community. And one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are...
Rope Break.
Family! Another day of isolation. You guys know that. So no need to keep reminding you that every single time we open a show. But what we have to remind you is that today is NXT Review. We're going to be talking about a good show. A lot of situations that we always mention. NXT has a lot of flavors. It's like if you go to like the ice cream, like you just pick your flavor, you pick like your toppings, and then there you go. And then you have fun. And this show gave us that. Right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, definitely. I think, overall, like you said, this show has a lot to pick from. There's a lot of good stuff. Really good, but quick matches in, the Cruiserweight title tournament. That was kind of just the theme of the whole show, I thought. I thought like a lot of the matches were just kind of quick, kind of fast. It was almost like the entrances combined were as long as the match itself, you felt. But, really good stuff. The title match, I thought probably the better one of the two was definitely the women's match, I felt. Especially that was like the big moment of the night, what happened after the match. And I think it's setting up for something you love,
Triple threat.
But you love, and it's the one thing that I think I told you what they need to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. And it's not like I'm a genius. It's just the obvious thing. But sometimes when the obvious thing stares you right in the face, you seem to look past it. So... but NXT and Triple H, they usually, hit the nail on the head, and that's what I think they did for the show tonight. Besides
Absolutely.
the main event, which we'll touch on, again, I kind of had the same issues like I had with last night with AEW, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
We'll get to that, but like I said, yeah, good show for NXT. A lot of good storylines. Karrion Cross debuted.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Gargano debuts a new theme song for Jean-Paul Leek. And we got like the women's title match. Cameron Grimes, some interactions with Finn Balor. So we're going to cover absolutely everything. Thank you so very much for watching every single one of the videos. Thank you for subscribing. And for the ones that like just checking us out now, subscribe, hit the bell. And for all the major content that we have great interviews with Maestro. Two-part interview, so please check that out. So Jean-Paul, NXT opened up with like the new version of Johnny Gargano. New theme song, Jean-Paul is loving it. Extremely new attitude, good stuff, and a great match with Dominik Dijakovic.
Yeah, this was a great, way to open the show. NXT usually has the same trend. They want to start off the show hot. I think they did it here. I could have watched these guys wrestle for twice as long, but like I was telling you, I understand why it was short. This is clearly the first match of the feud. They're not going to give you, the main course right away. That's why they give you the appetizer. That's why when you go out to eat, they just give you the bread and the salad. They don't give you, here's the pasta and the chicken. No. You got to wait for that.
Yes.
So that's what I think they're doing with this feud. It was a hell of a match. Like you said, I was definitely a big fan of the new music. I feel this is the real heel turn for Johnny Gargano. The one we got, a year or so ago, no, that wasn't the heel turn. That's not what we wanted. That was just, we don't kind of know what to do with Johnny. Now this is the thing. Hey, he's all heart and no soul. I love it. They're going all in on it, and the new theme song was needed.
Yeah, well, full-fledged, heel turn. I like the Gargano. He's actually using the wife, Candice. They finally paired them up. Why? Because, see, again, like they both can feed on each other and help each other out to accomplish what they want.
And and the one...
Also Karrion Cross and Scarlett. So, you see like their couples are going to be some kind of like a tendency on NXT.
Yeah, and if they don't touch on that, and if they would want to do some kind of main spectacle kind of match out of this, not saying I want to see Stephanie in a ring, but I'd love to see Johnny and Triple H because they've already had that interaction. That with everything with going on with Ciampa, maybe keep building on that. And, if Triple H is going to wrestle again, I'd rather see him wrestle somebody young who can really go and maybe carry a match in the excitement factor like a Johnny Gargano. And I think you could really do that storyline involving Stephanie with Candice as well.
And then see, like, the main, just like the plot will be, or like the theme will be like, hey, who's the best power couple?
Or or it could even be like Johnny does get the belt, Candice does get the belt, and they like, we're taking over NXT, and Triple H is like, no, I like own NXT, like you legit can't take over, and he's like, yes, we can. And then it's like the warring things, and then they have a match, the two of them, even if it's not at a WrestleMania, at a TakeOver.
Yeah, it will be even better at a TakeOver.
I don't think Triple H has ever wrestled at a TakeOver.
No. No, he's never done that.
That's what I mean. So imagine that. That
He
would be
will be
something
like the
awesome.
hype and everything. That will be good, especially if we have finally the audience again.
Oh,
Mention
that, yeah, you
also,
got to. Triple H,
yeah,
I mean, the way he does everything, to support these, men and women in NXT, but he would not put himself out there and get zero pop. He's
yeah,
like, no, I deserve a pop. I'm waiting for this
at
for a
least a
crowd.
little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. So like when Ward mentioned that it was the same commentary team, it was more Ronaldo,
Mm,
Beth Phoenix from their houses, and alongside Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips had a little bit less participation than from the show last week, but
mm,
it's good because he's Morrow and Beth more. And then when there's, I guess, like a gap, then you introduce Tom Phillips into it. But the
yeah.
match, these two, of course, can always put a good show, and I think they will just only notch it up to like 2 or 3. But we still got some good stuff. But in the end, Candice comes out, helps out
Mm.
Gargano, and then distracts Dijakovic a little bit. There was a turnbuckle was exposed, so like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
will
because,
play
like,
a main factor in the end of the match. Jean
yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, the whole thing, it was just like, obviously, commentary was even saying it. Look at Dijakovic. He's like twice, 3 times the size of Johnny. Like, if you're going just off that, Dijakovic's the clear winner, but they're like Johnny Gargano, his resilience, he's through the roof. He just kept attacking. I think it was the left knee or the right, one of the knees of
The left,
Dijakovic.
the
He was
left.
really after, yeah, the left knee. And, Dijakovic, he goes, I know at one point he went for a feast your eyes and he couldn't even hit that. I think Gargano followed with a super kick. And like you said, though, but at some point, even through all that, Dijakovic was fighting back. Candice comes out, and Johnny, he's like pulling off the turnbuckle pad. And the ref looks at him, and then this is hope. I think this was a knock at Aubrey Edwards. I swear that this was a knock because she saw Lance Archer, like I said, doing that and just no-sold it. Like, oh, okay, whatever. This ref saw Johnny do it and was like, what are you doing? And he's like, what that? Like, and Johnny's like, I didn't do nothing. Like, what's it like? Come on, man. It wasn't me. The refs, like, like half-ass tied it back up, and then they kept wrestling. But, yeah, and then eventually I think he had him in like a power bomb or some kind of.
He was
And then,
about to do a powerbomb. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and then Gargano was holding on to the pad, and then he ripped it off. And as soon as you saw that, you knew that, okay, this match is,
Yep. And
you
then
could
he did
smell
like a
it. Dinner's
hurricanrana.
almost done. It's almost ready to
Yep.
come out of the oven.
He
Yep.
did a hurricanrana, and then he finally Dijakovic hit like on the or exposed the turnbuckle thing and with the steel, and then he got
Hmm.
all like groggy, and then Gargano hits the DDT, the springboard DDT on the inside that now they call the one last beat.
Yep. Yeah, the last beat.
The
Yeah, I
last
think.
beat.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think that's cool. I like, and the one thing which it's kind of cool if you think about it. When we talked about him on AEW, Jake the Snake, how legit he is and all that stuff. How many people use a type of DDT as their finisher?
Oh yeah.
If you
Oh
think
yeah.
about it, and it's like who made the DDT?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's
So
just all
that's
like
like
it's all
that's
like the ten to the snake. If you
yeah,
think
like it's
about it.
really cool
Yes.
to think like if you really think about all the people who do some variation of that as their finisher, and they owe it all to him. So that's badass.
Oh, it is. It is really cool and see like he gets the win, and then they were celebrating. So you see the power couple, and like they're establishing themselves.
Mm.
They're getting into like this new Gargano and Candice era, which is pretty cool. So now, Jean Paul, we're gonna go to a recap of like the attack that Imperium got into Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Like they were just reminiscing, and then they got a really nice promo. They were saying that why are they coming for Riddle and Thatcher? They're officially challenging them for the NXT Tag Team titles. And like they said, we won those titles. We're coming after them. And of course the music. And I get it. I'm getting excited because I know this match is going to be good.
Yeah, and I like how we actually saw a little bit of personality here. They were like, "Oh yeah, Matt Riddle and
Timothy Thatcher.
yeah." Well, no, I was like with them. They were like, what's his name?" Like they were acting like Timothy Thatcher's like a nobody.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even know what his name was. They're like, "Oh, who is he?" And you actually saw like a little bit of that cockiness. They're like to us, they're like we're the best, and it wasn't just Eichner and Bartel. They said Wolf. They said Walter. They said that it's the 4 of them. They still consider themselves a unit, and it's the one thing that's good because it's like you had these guys over here with the interaction with Finn Balor. Probably at the time you flew them out, you assume you could fly them back. Now you can't. And it's like, what do we do with these guys? This is the perfect thing. Put them right here, to go after the tag titles. I love it. They say the ring is sacred. They attack the bro show. There's got to be some, there's got to be some,
Retributions for that. There has to be
retribution.
some
No, but
repercussions. So I really like how like they, like you said, at least they're doing something with these guys, because there's
Mm-hmm.
no way that we can have NXT UK that's completely shut down. They're just reliving matches. Like the last episode that NXT UK had, it was like a hidden gem. It was, they had like a matches that we never seen before. It was Tony
Oh,
Storm
like
against
hidden gems and stuff.
the
Oh,
hidden
okay, yeah,
gems.
yeah,
Hidden gems, yes, not germs, gems. They had
yeah,
like
yeah.
Tony
We have
Storm
enough of those.
against Diana Perazzo. They had Matt Riddle against like I think it was I think it was Ivanov.
Oh, okay.
Dragonov. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
they
yeah,
had
yeah.
Dragonov against Matt Riddle. They had matches that we
Oh,
never.
that's legit.
So like they had like episodes like in pretty much they're resourcing to all the library of matches that they have just so he can put a show on. So that
Yeah,
was good though. I really think that it was going to be a good match, and they need tag teams. They have a good tag team hand. Let's do it. Let's take
yeah.
care
That's
of
what I
it,
mean.
and it's
Yeah,
going to be legit.
I
Two
think
things
it'll
are
be.
shown. I saw Io Shirai. She's going to be waiting for her match with Charlotte Flair later on in the night, and also we get to see a little bit of a video package with Jack Gallagher and Akira Tozawa, because they're going to have a match coming up. And the match, like I said,
Yeah, there it is. I pop for that every time.
we suffer we suffer the same transformation that they will always see it every single week. Monday night, you don't know what you're doing. You suck. You forget how to wrestle. You're pretty much like, I don't know in what kind of like substance. I don't know what you are, but like you're completely like a ghost of yourself. But then Wednesday hits, you win. So why is this going on, Jean
Yeah,
Paul?
I wouldn't even say it's that. I would say it's like Superman, you know, when Superman absorbs the light of the yellow sun, he's like, ugh, the yellow sun from NXT, yellow. And then when Superman absorbs red sunlight that was like on the planet Krypton, he's all weak like a human, red, Monday Night Raw. There you
Yeah,
go.
if that's the perfect analogy, because Tozawa forgets how to wrestle every single Monday. I
Yep.
don't know. But in this time, he pulled out a really good match, very short, very short. I don't think we were getting like, kind of like into it, and then done.
Yeah, but that's like I said, you know, in the beginning, both these cruiserweight matches to me, I thought were really quick. I thought last week they were really long. You really could get into it. And, you know, the guys who lost both here tonight are guys who it's like we really didn't care about too much, unfortunately, going into this tournament. I don't think we're going to care too much going out the way they're being presented.
Yes,
It's like,
and the only thing is like it sucks to be Jack Gallagher because he's a good wrestler, but unfortunately, I don't think they have any faith in him.
yeah, I mean, and to me, like, you could really go in with his gimmick. I know I'm not watching anything on 205 Live. He could be Tozawa flipped. He could be bullshit on NXT and legit on 205 Live. I have no clue. But it's one of those things where we see him on NXT. That's the main show we want to watch. And we see him, like you said, presented like bullshit, loses quickly. He's got the tattoos. You should be presenting him, kind of legit, pushing him a little bit. Instead, we get here. But, I mean, with all that being said, though, if you had to ask me, all right, Jean-Paul, you're booking this match, which one of these two guys wins? I'd be like, nah, nah, nah.
And
So
well,
I don't know what to tell you.
it is a little like they're doing a little bit of justice because Tozawa is also like a lot of people say, oh, Charlotte Flair is the hardest worker. What about Tozawa? Tozawa is doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they give him a legit shot? So that's what they did, and pretty much was like the santon that he does on the top rope and done. So like
Mm-hmm.
and very quick. So that's the one thing. Like you said last week, they focused on the cruiserweights. This week we're like, okay, 5 minutes, get the hell out of here. We have other things to go through.
Yeah, the one thing I just thought like this show had like a lot of segments in it.
Yeah,
That's one
yeah.
thing. You could have cut down on a segment or two and then, gave more time to some of these matches.
And I would have appreciated that a little better. But hey, they had a
Yeah.
lot of storylines, and that's the one
Mhm.
thing that we always said about NXT, having a
Yeah,
variety of
but see,
storylines.
that's the thing. That's just our opinion because I know there's some people out there who they love the 5, 7, 8 minute match. They
Yeah.
watch that, boom, 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 okay, because their
Next.
attention span. Yeah, they want the next one. It's like they can't watch it for too long because they're like, oh, like just pin him, and it's like no, like we want to tell a story here.
Yes, yes. So now Jean Paul, Velveteen Dream had a promo, like you said, kind of short. Well, I don't know if he's like, suffering a little bit from the situation that he's dealing with outside of the ring, but like not too convincing for me. But then
Yeah.
we pretty much are saying that the dream is over, dream's over. We're going to have like this match with like Adam Cole, and I'm going to be the new NXT champion. I don't know. I'm not really invested in this feud, but like I know a lot
No,
of people
yeah,
are.
no, neither am I. And I think, you know, with everything they were hinting with Dexter Loomis, staring down the Undisputed Era and, kind of getting involved in this storyline a little bit. and then, what we saw in the main event. I think that's kind of where they're moving. I think, unfortunately, for the Dream, but again, like you and I both said, we're not the biggest fans of his. To me, it's like, hey, you're going to lose, but, it's like next. It's like, who's next for Adam Cole's victim? But
Yeah, man.
I think his time will eventually come, but I could also see him being called up to the main roster. But if he goes to the main roster,
then the
dream's over.
Yep, and so we get to see now Charlotte. Charlotte is backstage again for the women's match. And talking about women's matches, we have a match featuring two of the current girls in the roster, Xia Li and Chelsea Green with Robert Stone. And this match was like another one, very quick. It was just like, hey, go out there and like don't even get warm, and you're already done.
Yeah. Since speaking of warm, Xia Li, I was, when I look at this match and you just look at who won, who lost, you get upset because, like you said, they couldn't even get warm. Xia Li, she always goes, her thing is like spicy. I agree. She should be hot. She should be getting pushed because she's good and she's legit. Like Beth Phoenix said, I took a kick, one of her kicks to the head in a Royal Rumble, and she's like, I was done for a week.
Yeah.
So, you got to push her, but I kind of like this because I feel like they're doing something with it. She broke Aaliyah's nose because, like you said, this match got really nowhere. Aaliyah came down to interfere, and then Chelsea Green hit the I'm Prettier, 1, 2, 3, thank you, Christian, and done. And then it was like, but then Xia Li, she's clearly pissed off at Aaliyah. And then Robert Stone was kind of looking at Aaliyah like, okay, maybe she's going to be in the brand. So maybe
another girl from your stable,
Yeah, so maybe there'll be, some women from NXT, maybe Shotzi Blackheart, somebody else can kind of, some of these women feud with the Robert Stone brand. And then that would be kind of, see, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, with all the women you have, you should do something like that and then bring the freaking tag titles to NXT.
Yeah.
And because you have so many women, start creating a bunch of tag teams.
It's true because remember that Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai were like tag first.
Yeah, they were challenging the Kabuki Warriors,
and then they went with the Kabuki Warriors and all that. So it's a good idea, and see at least Chelsea's getting a little bit of momentum. She needs it because she's been told to every single one of us that like she's the greatest thing. She's a good wrestler, and the character that she's being presented with is like, oh, I'm better than everybody else.
Oh yeah, she definitely
showing it. Showing.
Yeah. She definitely needs a push as well, like you said. And I think, you can do a lot of stuff with her, especially if the NXT title goes back to a face champion, then she'd be the perfect opponent.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking about, Mr. X. So now we go to like the debut of the TikTok. The time is up, and it's time for Karrion Cross. A legit cinematic, I will say, very, very like cinematic entrance. Pretty long. And that told me also that the match that he was going to be in was going to be pretty short. Because like you take like 10 minutes, you take the Undertaker's entrance, but which I'm not going to complain about because he's seen Scarlett. Like they're presenting me with this whole character that Karrion Cross is going to be. Or Killer Cross. I really enjoy it. Like you said, like they didn't take the advantage, or they didn't like use just Scarlett as the sexual object that she is. I'm not saying that's the only thing she is, but I'm saying like any other promotion that she's being featured on, that's what they focus on.
Actually, that's what they use. They use her sex appeal. Here they used it in a more way where she looks just kind of like you could almost say like an evil like witch or something, like she controls Karrion, and it's like that's really legit. They had the smoke and just like the magic circles or like the pentagons or like whatever behind him, or pentagrams, not pentagons, pentagrams or whatever it was. And it's like it looked really cool, his entrance. And my favorite part about it though, which like wasn't even like cool, it was more funny, was when everything kind of went away, and then the jobber is in the ring in the corner, and he's like,
"Oh yeah,"
he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, this loser's already down here.
Because I was waiting for the guy to like I was waiting for the guy to come out, and I'm like, oh, he's already there.
I thought he'd be standing like outside of the ring, like letting Karrion like do his whole shtick and being like just standing at ringside, like okay.
He's like right to like the turnbuckle. He's like, okay, time to lose. Yeah, and which he did, and like he hit like 2 Doomsday Device Saitos. It's to me like call him that, but like, to me it's a back body drop. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but the way he hits him, you got to call him something better than a back body drop. Because I mean, he pretty much like crushed this dude on his neck and his
It
shoulders.
did. Like, see, because it's Saito, because he goes on the side, it's not like
Yeah.
vertical and then down. So
Yep.
that's why they do that. So there's our little bit of a Taz explanation here from Jean
Yeah.
Paul
There
and
you go.
myself. We're going the Taz way, and then that's why it's called Saito, because on the side, he hits two of them, but like you said, devastating, and then he put him in a submission hold in the cross jacket. So like at least see the good thing is like he has like his own moves, the names for his moves.
Yep.
It was good, and the guy that like he ended up tapping at, it was Leon Ruff. So like they of course they had to use this enhancement talents, like you said, the jobber, Leon Ruff or the jobber. You call him
Yep.
however you want, but it was really cool. And yeah, Killer Cross, he was portrayed really, really good. Even the commentary from Morrow and from Beth is like, oh my god, like
Yeah, I think it was Morrow. He's like, why did NXT sign this guy? And
Tom
like,
Phillips,
Tom Phillips. Yeah, it's like, why did we sign this guy and then like unleash this like creature upon NXT? And I'm like, that's the perfect like line. You know, Tom Phillips is normally pretty like robotic, pretty corporate, but it's like that was a good line in the sense like you're really trying to get him over as like you guys like you can't control him. Like you can't tell him what to do. He just goes out here and beats down and attacks and does whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, like exactly. Like see, and that's the one thing. If I think if you give Tom Phillips a little bit of freedom, he'll be better. But see,
Mm-hmm.
they align him with bad sidekicks, and
Oh
they
yeah.
take all the energy that he has. And now that, like for example, he was in the building, so he
Mm-hmm.
has to come up with lines of
Yeah,
his
like
own. So that's
I would love to hear some of these guys be on like call like an indie show or call like a AEW or something where there's not like a corporate guy like buzzing in their ear every 5 seconds,
yes, it will be a lot better
and
because see,
just to see how they sound if they're actually more like
the freedom
like
that they
they
will
let
have.
loose or
The
yeah.
freedom that they will have. So, not talking about freedom, so we were talking about Imperium, and Imperium took away the freedom of the Bro Show. So we get like Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle. Yep, like we're talking about him, and they're asking backstage what are their thoughts about the attack that they had and everything. So Matt Riddle pretty much says that like Timothy, what are we gonna do about this, bro? And he's like, you bring them in, and I tap them out. So that's what it was. So like, yep, it's official. We're gonna have an NXT Tag Team Championship match next week. Imperium going against Riddle and Thatcher. So good stuff. Like I'm digging the tag team. Riddle
Yeah, and
didn't seem
I like
funny,
when
but
I don't know her name yet. She's still pretty new, but when that the woman's back interviewing people backstage, and then she asked Matt Riddle something, he's like, I don't know, bro.
she called
Yeah,
he called her bro. Yes.
yeah, and he always like has his lips like sticking out, like he always just looks like such a goofball, and then his like his ears stick out of his hair. And he's like, "What do you think, bro?" Like to Timothy. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be legit. Like like again,
And
think
it
what you
doesn't.
think what you will about the guy, but like we always say, when the bell rings, it's on.
Oh yeah, no, and even if they will lose the championships, Imperium is pretty hot too. So
Yeah,
this is going to be a long-term feud because what is going to be the end of it all, right? Let's say they lose. Pete Dunne at some point is going to come back and it's going to be like, no, it's us against you guys. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Timothy, thank you.
Yep.
Go to Britt Baker. Here's her card. Adam Cole has like her number. Book an appointment for that. But like,
And
hey,
I wonder if she does it. All she has to do is just like super kick you in the teeth, and it fixes it.
it's like Adam, we're gonna fix his teeth. It's like stand right here, Timothy.
Yep, and they get the
Adam,
young buck. And well, he's so bad they might need the young bucks involved too.
oh well, it's like
Like a
when
four-way super kick.
it's so bad. It's like okay, Young Bucks come in, and like okay, we need a double one. There
Yeah.
you go. So like, I think it's gonna be good in story overall, even if
Oh,
they
absolutely.
Imperium get the championship. And talking about championship matches, Io Shirai, Genius of the Sky, going against Charlotte Flair, NXT Women's Championship on the line. A little bit sure, but I
Mm-hmm.
think at least in the end they didn't job Io out, so I'm happy about that.
No, and it was the one thing to kind of go into the real life aspect, I guess, because they were saying on commentary that it was a dream match of Io Shirai when she was still in Japan. She was like, oh, one of the people, or I guess her dream opponent was
It was
Charlotte
Charlotte.
Flair. So
Yes.
like she got to wrestle Charlotte, and if you actually would go and you look on the record books now, it'll say Io Shirai versus Charlotte Flair. Io Shirai wins.
Yes.
She didn't win the belt, but it will say in the record books that she beat Charlotte. So that's cool. You get to beat your dream opponent.
Oh yeah, no, it was extremely great match. Charlotte and Io, they put on a great show. A little bit shorter, like I said,
Yeah, no, it was
but
definitely short.
It was
But
short, but like like they were able to showcase a little bit of the both of the girls' arsenals.
yeah,
Like
and
they
I
were
think,
able.
and again, this was kind of like the Dijakovic Gargano match. This was only the first piece. This wasn't here's everything right away. This is all we got. We saw what happened at the end, and then Io's still involved. It's not like Io was just a stepping stone. She's going to be a main piece moving forward. In the
She's still in contention for
yeah,
the championship. She didn't
exactly.
go off. She wasn't the Robert Stone, but she
Mm-hmm.
was just like she's still in it.
Yeah,
Because what ends up happening is because Charlotte gets completely upset. She gets really frustrated that Io will not die. She couldn't
yeah.
put Io away. She did a moonsault and Io count. She didn't hit the moonsault when Charlotte would go on Io. Io did her own moonsault, and Charlotte actually countered that with her
Yeah.
legs.
Charlotte got the knees up. Yeah, the way that when Charlotte hit, when Io moved out of the way, her legs split, and she just laid flat. She looked like a bug on a windshield.
Yes,
I was dying. So, but Charlotte
yes.
just
And then after
splat.
that, Charlotte did a big boot, but she
Yep.
couldn't put Io away, and that she got upset. So you end up getting the kendo stick and getting DQ. But then
Yeah.
the main story happens because we get to see the return of who?
Yeah, Rhea Ripley comes back, and again, I mean, this is this last couple minutes of the match, from pretty much, I mean, a little before that, but from when you started explaining till now, was completely zoned in the match, and that's how you can still do it. That I forgot there was no crowd. So when Rhea came out, I was for a second, I'm like, why the fuck nobody pop? And I'm like, there's no crowd. I'm like, shit, there's no crowd.
And they
I'm
didn't
like,
even.
ah, yeah, I'm like,
The one
damn.
thing is they didn't even use the music.
Yeah, but see, I like that.
So
If you use the music, then they're like, so.
yeah,
Then they stand like freaking like fish, just staring at the
yes,
at the ramp. When there's no
yes.
music, it's a better sneak attack.
Yeah, and see the one thing though, I think what they did also, they had the camera, the aiming, and you could see that somebody was coming out, and
Yeah, yeah, they had it from it was at the corner
from where the
of the
commentary
ring.
will be, from the
Yeah,
commentary,
and
you
then you
got
can
to see
see the
their
ramp.
view,
Yeah, you can
and
see
then
the
they will
ramp,
see.
and then when they come out, yep.
And then Rhea, of course, went on Charlotte. They were stuck in exchanging punches, interactions. Of course, Rhea's okay, come on, let's do it, let's do it. And Charlotte, the good heel she is, she just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rhea, and then the one thing is Io is just going at
Yeah, yeah,
Rhea.
he is just screaming at her in
Ada, ada,
Japanese.
ada, ada,
Yeah,
ada,
yeah,
ada. All you could hear was ada. So I'm like, oh, thank you for the plug.
yeah.
Thank you.
And
Very
then I
well.
just love how Ray was just shut up. She's like, shut up. I don't need you. Just
He's
shut up.
he's shut up. He's it's arigato, arigato.
Yeah. And then, but I like that because, and then we saw them, they had an interaction later in the night we'll get to. And it's
Of course, yeah, because after that, there's a post match. There's another outside of the building, kind of and you see somebody's interviewing Rhea Ripley, and it's well, I lost that match to Charlotte. That's over with. And I won another match with her, and then we see Io coming from the back. It's what, probably saying, "Hey, you stole my match. The hell are you doing?" I kept hearing that. So I don't know what that really meant, or she's a very big fan of the show, which is thank you, but ended up being the two of them brawling. They were wrong.
Yeah, so then that's the thing that's that I really hope they don't just do we're going to do Rhea Ripley versus Io for number one contender. To me, that would be the most bullshit way to do it.
Yes.
It should be where, well, this match ended in a DQ that's unfair to Io, not even counting Rhea. It was unfair. It ended in a DQ, so she gets another shot.
Yes. It should be a triple threat.
It should. Yeah, a triple threat is the best way, and I think that's what they're going to do, because a triple threat's a way then you can keep, Charlotte clean. If you're gonna have Rhea be the champion, maybe poor Io eats the riptide and done. If you're gonna have if you're gonna have Io be the champ, then Rhea comes back. See, to me, the most legit thing would be if she has Rhea in the figure 8, and Rhea's like, I ain't tapping out again, and starts slugging her. And then Io does a moonsault and hits
top of them. Yeah. And then it's Io's time. We all want Io, Io's
Triple, he better be tapped in and better be great, because I think that's the most legit ending you could do.
It will be the greatest ending for that match, and it will be come on, push her eye. Shirai is legit. She's really, really great at the ring, and okay, we got to see Rhea and Charlotte. Okay, well, I don't want to see it again.
But see, I wouldn't mind seeing them in a grudge match if Io wins the triple threat. See them in a grudge match after for no title.
With no title involved, that's fine. Or go to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
and then let Io build her own division. And
Which I
then
think that's
Io,
what they're gonna do. That's what you should do. And then you should get all three of them in the ring. They all hold each other's hands, raise their hands. They all go Ada, and
and
then
done.
and then the two big blonde ones go to Monday Night Raw.
And we get Io because Io
Yep.
deserves her time in the sun because she's from the land of the rising sun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you go. So talking about people from the land of the rising sun, Japan or Japón, Kushida going against Jake Atlas. Kushida, of course, the power love. So Kushida, really great wrestler. In this one, he took away Atlas really quick, very very
This
quick.
was another really quick one as well.
Jean Paul is gonna walk you through us, elaborate a little more, but pretty much Kushida got into. Atlas had very little offense. I will tell you that much. Kushida dominated pretty much the whole match.
Yeah.
But in the end, Atlas was doing a springboard, and then Kushida catches him in a really, really flawlessly, really great way, catches him, and then applies the armbar, but without even, with full pressure.
Oh yeah. No, that was a total Charlotte Flair figure 8 against the jobber.
So. Elaborate for me, Jean Paul.
Yeah,
Because
like you said,
Atlas
didn't get too much offense. He hit a suicide dive, I think it was. He dove through the ropes on Kushida. So that was cool. Like he's a good wrestler. He has cheerleading, gymnastics, or some other bullshit. So he's clearly is athletic and can go in the ring. But against Kushida, it was Kushida all the way up here. Atlas is down here for right now. So you got to go with Kushida. But I love it. I love the arm bars out of nowhere. The only thing, like you said, is the arm can go all the way back to here. He has the arm here, and he's already done. Can it go all the way back to here first before you start tapping?
Or can you apply a little bit of pressure?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It should have been on the ground, and he's like, oh, no. And then you see Kushida really lean back on it, and then he's like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least after 5-6 seconds of the hold being applied, then you tap. But not even, it's like in the game, you just go from in the bar, you just go from 0 to all the way.
Yep. It goes
it's
done.
It's one motion, it's one whole full lap. I'm
you don't, it's press X, you press it once, and done.
Yeah, done. No, so that I didn't like, but Kushida advances. So we have two guys that are 2-0, and that's Akira Tozawa and Kushida. These two guys are so that to me seems to be might be the final though, and it will be cool because
I'd love
two guys are gonna tear the house down. So good stuff on that. And another guy that you love, Jean Paul, the Prince, Finn Balor. He's coming back. He's gonna talk about he steps in the podium and the top of the entrance ramp, and then he's saying that he thinks that the biggest snakes in the business, pun to the snake robbers, everything is all about the snakes in both of the shows. So he talks about the snakes in the business were the ones in the office. He says that the way that they get pushed in the business is why? Attacking the guy. So he's giving you wrestling 101 with Finn Balor. So then Finn Balor says that once you're in the ring with the Prince, there is nowhere to hide. Balor says that he's patient, but the person who attack him won't get pushed. They will get squashed. So then we get a match that go ahead.
Yeah, please don't skip over probably my favorite part of the whole night. This to me was Finn Balor. If he doesn't get comeback wrestler of 20, whatever year that he came to NXT, you have shitty. I don't know. Then you have shitty awards because ever since he came to NXT, everything he's done is legit. Dragunov legit, Gargano legit, all this stuff. I love this promo when he's like, you attack the guy to get the push. He's like, you get the theme music, you get the lights, the lasers, the entrance. Then when you come out to the ring and the bell rings and you're standing there across from the Prince, then what? And he's right. All these guys, whoever they are, when they get in the ring with Finn Balor, what happens? They lose.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And he's like, you want to attack Finn Balor? What's going to happen? To me, Finn Balor is, he's one of those guys that there's a lot of big things going on in NXT. Keith Lee, a lot of still people, Adam Cole fans, Gargano, Karrion Cross. But Finn Balor is, to me, he's right there at the top as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Finn Balor, of course, he's the one of the original ones too. And for him to be in the top still. And, everybody looks at Finn Balor and oh, this is the guy.
Yeah. And
this
just his intensity, his promo work, and undoubtedly his ring work. To me, he's the perfect wrestler. He might not be in some people's eyes because he's not 6'4", 6'5", but he has everything you could ask for, I think.
In-ring ability is absolutely great. So, and also like he delivers like pretty convincing promos. So why wouldn't he be in contention for anything?
Yeah.
What does Roman have that Finn doesn't? What does like Seth has that Roman? Put Kenny Omega and Finn
speaking of that, did you see that? I didn't even take notice, but I guess because they mentioned him by name, but Roman, I guess, was photoshopped out of the Money in the Bank cash-in.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of situations with that. Like what we know, what Roderick knows is like there's a little bit of differences between them because Roman, it seems that he's pursuing a Hollywood career, and also like there's a little bit of resentment because of like his decision of like walking out of WrestleMania and not wanting to be part of it, which is understandable because he defeated the cancer, the leukemia, and everything. So why there should be, any resentment on that?
Yeah, and we could go into it a little more with SmackDown, but the only thing I'll just quick say here is I'm on Roman's side for not doing WrestleMania, but I'm on WWE's side for being at least a little upset if he's like, oh, I'll be the guy, and then, oh, I'm going to go do Hollywood now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so we wasted all these years, now you feel like an idiot. So that I would understand with WWE.
It's true. So we're going to go because alongside Finn Balor had even more stuff to go through because Cameron Grimes had a match with Denzel DeJournette. So like a pretty quick match. Cameron Grimes hit his finisher, 1, 2, 3. He gets the win.
Yeah, he went for the cave in like immediately, and he dodged it, and he was like, "Ooh," because this guy's like an amateur wrestler.
Yes.
And then he tried to do a move. He went for the cave in again, hit it, 1, 2, 3. It's like, okay. So you lose to Keith Lee pretty quick, and now to me, Cameron Grimes is the Shawn Spears of NXT.
Yeah, he can be legit sometimes. He can be really crappy. Like the booking with him is not really great. But like
especially what happened afterwards. I'm like, okay, they're starting to push him. He had this quick match, against the jobber, but whatever. They're starting to push him. And then Finn Balor comes out and he pretty much pisses his pants, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because like pretty much Grimes gets on the mic and then he says that he deserves more than what he's getting. I mean, quality-wise, maybe, but like, are you trying to back up your case? Maybe. He calls out Finn Balor and he says that like things that he will do to Finn Balor if he was the one that he attacked him. So Balor comes back and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna smack my face." He's like, "You're gonna like smack my face." I'm like, oh, "I'm right here. Do it." And then we get
Finn. Yeah, there's like there's so many people who like some I know personally, and some you just see they're stereotypes where they act like, "Oh, I'll fight anybody. And that's how Cameron Grimes was. He's like, if Finn Balor was here, he says he's the man. I'd slap him in his face if that's how you get the push. All this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Finn Balor shows up. Well, he's like, well, then go ahead, do it. Slap me in the face. And then he's all like, he's like, come on, man. He's like, that wasn't me. So he's pretty much breaking kayfabe right there in the ring. He's like, that wasn't me, man. Come on. Like, come on, man. And then Finn Balor's like, no, go ahead.
Finn, I did a stomp, and then he did a slingshot, and then
the sling blade.
Yeah, sling blade. Yes, sling blade. He does the sling blade, and then pretty much they set up a match for next week. I don't think that like Cameron Grimes attack Finn Balor, that would be too simple.
No. To me, I think if I don't know how fast they want to move the storyline, if Cameron Grimes is going to be kind of a piece in it, but you could always have where some a masked person, if you don't want to reveal their identity or whoever, could attack Finn Balor during the match, distract him somehow, cave in 1, 2, 3. Grimes gets the win, so he gets pushed. But then Finn Balor also now has more ambition and anger to go after whoever attacked him because they cost him this match. And because if Finn Balor would lose in that fashion, the fans wouldn't be like, "Oh, he's buried."
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, because clearly it pushes his storyline, so it wouldn't hurt him to lose in that fashion. Yeah, so I mean, that's something you could do. Or if you just want, hey, we just want to get Cameron Grimes some TV time and Finn Balor, then Finn Balor win, move on. And maybe something happens after the match.
Exactly. So that's what's pretty much happened. And now we're going to talk about the main event. Adam Cole defending the NXT Championship against The Dream. The Velveteen Dream. So match-wise, like you said, John Paul always says, like, the entrances take way too long. Without the crowd, even I don't think that they should do the whole entrance. They should kind of rush it a little bit. And that's what took away. They only left us with probably 10 minutes.
Yeah. Now the one thing I will say though, if you like really think about it, it's like, okay, this is a championship match. Imagine, remember back in the day when people, I mean, they still do it now. When people like change their costumes and have, crazy, entrance gear and all this stuff for championship matches. So I get it. But then if that's all being said, book your show a little better, maybe take out some useless segments or some matches that could wait for next week. So then this match is longer than 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They never give them enough time.
Whoever produced it, don't just dust off the old reliable Undisputed Era interference victory, because it's like we've seen that 1,000 times. When we see it, we don't pop, we don't, oh, those Undisputed Era boys are at it again. No, we don't care. We go, okay, Adam Cole,
sure, yeah, okay, and that's what pretty much happened.
Yeah, there's literally we're like Cameron Grimes from the segment before. So
yeah, pretty much, because the one thing at least that was meaningful is Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, he's the only sprinkles on top of the shit Sunday, you could say.
Because the Undisputed Era, of course, came out. Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, they came out to help out Adam Cole in the same fashion that we've seen the Undisputed Era for the past 3 years.
Yep.
And then at least Dexter Lumis comes out of nowhere, and he attacks both members of the Undisputed Era, and then he actually throws Roderick Strong on top of the ref, and then it ends up hitting the ref. The ref gets knocked out. Purple Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3, but there's no ref. And then you tell me your 5 cents on that.
Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we normally don't see what I'm about to say, but I wish we would. Let's say you're the champ, you're legit, whatever. You get hit by this move. If the ref was alive, 1, 2, you'd kick out. Before the 3 count, whatever. Especially the Purple Rainmaker, Adam Cole. Here he hits this 1, 2, 3, 4. Can he at least get a shoulder up at 4 to make it seem like he still kind of has a little life? He didn't know the ref was out, so he's just laying. So what? He would have eaten the pin if the ref didn't get bumped.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, come on, just have it make a little more sense. Because I'm like, really, that move wins, and then especially with what happened afterwards when Cole gets up, our dream is like, get up. Cole gets up, super kick. Puts the head down, last shot.
1, 2, 3.
2, 3, and then Adam Cole wins. And it's like I said, but when he was going up for the 2 count, I'm like, let's go. I don't and it's sad to say, but I was like, come on, just let me see the credits roll so I can get out. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, NXT, let's get this going.
It's just the good thing in Adam Cole is he's still the champion. He's the longest one, and he's the one that has the most rivalries. They were even mentioning that on commentary. They were saying that Gargano, Ciampa, Finn Balor, Velveteen Dream, all these guys have fallen to Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era. And at least he retains, because I didn't see the Dream quite yet there. And you said probably maybe he will get called up.
Yeah, I can see that. But if he goes somewhere, he kind of fits. To me, he would get lost on Raw, even though you have a lot of NXT guys on Raw. So I think he would fit in there more with at least the knowing people. But I think he's probably going to end up going to SmackDown. Just with his character, I feel like that would fit more SmackDown.
It's a little, the show presents characters because at least you have the Fiend there. So the Fiend is kind of out there, so the Velveteen Dream being out there.
And also, John Cena appears on any show, but he was last on SmackDown. John Cena and Velveteen Dream,
they probably want to go do that. See, that's when the Velveteen Dream will be really hot. And they need to really push the guy to be that hot.
Well, that's because, no offense against Adam Cole's promos, but to me, they're middle of the road. They're not fantastic, but they're not awful. John Cena's they fucking break the chart. So he can get that out of Velveteen. He can be like, let's take.
And the one thing that we can say about this feud is they're not really mashing together quite well. There's not really room for where you can get material.
the dream and
Cole.
And Cole, yeah. Absolutely.
There's not, for example, Gargano and because the Dream is not a complete baby face. So people that love baby faces, they cannot relate.
Because it's like I said, and when he was with Roderick Strong, I wanted Roderick Strong to win because I'm like, you don't say you're gonna bang another man's wife and insult his kid and all. I'm like,
and then the stuff that we found out, so But
exactly.
Something tells me that they're gonna prolong the feud. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's something better.
But with Dexter Lumis, like I said, I would love to see that match. But then you can't make Dexter Lumis lose. So if you do the match.
No, but that will be the good thing is the Dream will have to put over Dexter Lumis if they resource to
I meant Lumis and Cole.
No, no, no. What I'm thinking is like Loomis is gonna like turn, and then finally it's gonna be, hey, I've been helping you out. You keep losing. No, and then that's
Yeah.
because see, like Loomis, like you said, you're gonna kill Loomis' momentum in one shot, and in
Hmm.
one, it's gonna be the
In
last
the
shot.
last shot.
It's
Yep.
gonna be the last shot for Dexter Loomis. Why? Because this guy is like legit. Like his aura is,
Hmm.
so for me, you need to go keep that for at least a whole year. This is your Asuka. Be like have this guy go
Oh
through
yeah.
everybody, and then maybe if you want to go for the North American Championship, that should be the easiest one. If you don't want to jeopardize Adam Cole, at least that's what I will try to do. But if the guy,
It's hard because you know I mean wrestling I guess has been like this for the past probably since the modern era, but I feel like the way that we legitimize somebody is by having them be a champion. It maybe
oh
doesn't have
yeah,
to be for as long as Adam Cole has been, but we want them to be a champion. And it's a shame because there's so many guys in NXT that we know a lot of these guys aren't going to be champions. We see so many guys, oh, they should be a champion. Like, oh, Dexter Loomis, Dijakovic, Damian Priest. I won't doubt it if one of those three guys doesn't ever win championship gold.
yeah. No, you're right.
No, that's
You're
what I
right.
mean. It's like there's so many guys who are so legit, but it's like it's a shame because NXT is filled with all these, A stars, and not everybody can be a champion. So it's hard to
Absolutely.
say, but like to me, as long as they keep presenting Loomis in a legit way, I'll be happy with it. But I do think that he will have gold at some point.
They have, and going along the goal, they have a goal in this character
Yep.
if they keep portraying him in this particular way. So, Jean Paul, this wraps it up for NXT review for May 7th, 2020, because the show was on May 6th. And Jean Paul, I think we keep getting good stuff. See, NXT is at least the hook is right there. We want to keep
Mm-hmm.
watching these shows. What's going to happen with Karrion Cross? What's going to happen with Ciampa coming back to see what to go after Karrion Cross? Johnny Gargano, new theme song, new attitude. That thing is going really well. The Velveteen Dream, is it the feud completely over, or there's another shot against Adam
Oh
Cole?
yeah, and
So many things.
everything in the women's division, everything with Rhea coming back, the triple threat match, hopefully Robert Stone's brand, and then everything in the cruiserweight tournament.
So the show has
That's
it
what I mean.
all.
And NXT has more to offer than Raw and SmackDown combined.
Yes,
Honestly.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So this is how we end, family. Thank you so very much for watching every single one of our videos. Jean Paul, where can people find Rope Break in the social media world?
Well, in the social media, more typical outlets of Facebook to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram or the original Rope Break. Twitter is the OG Rope Break. And then on YouTube for all the video content, where the podcast lives and thrives right here on the original Rope Break.
Thank you so very much, Jean Paul. And I think we only have one more thing that is left to say. And now it is...